Now going to turn to another type of superpower. And I feel a bit stupid saying that now, but we'll still go on with the roundtable with Malala in mind. This other power is networking. And when it comes to networking, most of the time, women are not as good as men. And we have the perfect example of a woman who knows everything about that. So Carole Stone, who used to be a journalist at the BBC and who's famous in Great Britain as the queen of networking, is going to tell us more about that. And we also have a superhero asking her the question. But as networking is most of the time perceived as a negative thing, our superhero is Darth Vader.
对工作女性来说，扩大社交圈很重要，你觉得呢？你有什么建议可以给年纪轻的男孩和女性？ Lucy, China.
Well, what can you say to that? I quite agree that bad networking is not good. But remember that Ethan Darth Vader, in the end, chose to be good. And you still have time to be good networkers. And good networkers are those that make the most of the people they meet to their mutual advantage. There's nothing wrong in networking. It will help your career whether you're a woman or a man. And I think women are as good networkers, men even now. But networking can really make a difference to your personal and your professional life. And if I'd known at your age, what I know now, I would say to you, start now to collect the people that interest you and the people that you want to keep in touch with, including the people you meet at this summit here for One Young World, because it is by choosing those people that you are defined by the people that you and the company that you keep. You are lucky enough to be defined by the company you keep, and you can choose them. That's the wonderful thing. So I say that in order to be good in your career or in your personal life, you have to be strong within yourself. After what Fatima said, what I'm saying is nowhere near as deep or as important in many ways, but I do believe that having confidence in yourself and speaking to other people, taking an interest in other people, really is life-changing stuff. So I would say have that confidence. Don't worry about failure. Don't worry about snubs. I was snubbed just the other day at a breakfast. A woman sat next to me and they saw somebody more interested and moved away. And I was quite unhappy for about 5 minutes. And then I thought, well, what does it matter? I'm not going to marry the woman. What does it matter? And I got over it. And I think that once you've got if you go into a room and think, I'm here now, what's the worst that can happen is I can be snubbed or I can leave without talking to somebody. So make sure that you do talk to somebody, because in life it's often the things you don't do that you regret more than the things that you do and that you fail at. Now, a lot of people say to me, oh, well, Carole, it's all right for you. You've got an outgoing personality. You're quite bubbly. You're quite effervescent. But I was born and grew up very, very shy. I had a brother who was even shyer than me. He was 2 years older. And in his 20s, he was developed or known to be suffering from paranoid schizophrenia. And he died of a stroke in his 40s. And Roger's legend, my brother's legend to me, was to reach out and communicate with other people. I was shy because you can't see up here, thank goodness, but I've got very small boobs. And I've got a very big nose. Just think if that had been the other way around, life could have been very different. So I just say, really, to take life by the scruff of the neck, to look round the next corner, and above all, to be ever curious but never ever jealous, because that destroys you more than anyone else. And to live in the present, to live in the now. Obviously have good memories, maybe you have bad memories, and you have things that you might look forward to, or even some things you're dreading. But on the whole, nothing is ever quite as bad or quite as good as you're expecting. But live in the now. You're here now, and think, oh, I could be doing this, I could be having dinner, whatever it is, get the full value out of what you're doing, because I think that very, very much is a very important thing in life. Just to give you a little background, I joined the BBC when I was 21 as a copy typist, and they said to me, in 2 years' time, when you're 23, you will then be established staff and can have a career at the BBC and really be on your track to that career we're talking about. No worry for me, I thought. In 2 years' time, I'll be married and well on the way to having my family. It was to be 36 years before any man asked me to marry him. When I was 57, he asked me, I said yes immediately. He says gratefully. That was 13 years ago. I'm 70 now, and I can tell you I'm not going to waste any... I'm not going to waste any time being married wishing I was single, because I wasted too much time single wishing I was married. So I really do think you have to live by that. So all I can say really is that I feel that it is so, so important, as I say, to live in the now, to feel that you can do things and that you can stretch your potential. I think it is really, really wrong to go through your life, living life in little teeny sips, take great big gulps. You may spit some out, but at least you've had a go. And I think if I saw you again next year, and some of you maybe will be here next year, I'd just love to know that you've had a go, because you never know what's going to happen. That's the wonderful thing about networking. I haven't got much time, so I'm going to go on to the second thing, is my tips. My tips are, give yourself a time limit. Go into a room, into a conference, wherever you're going, and think, I can be out of here in half an hour, but you're not going to leave until you maybe have a card or two. If you're very shy, pick up 2 glasses of wine or 2 glasses of water, walk around with 2 glasses, and after a few minutes say, I just have to go and deliver the other one to somebody. It's a wonderful way for getting away from somebody. But don't ever do the dirty on them. Don't ever say, leave someone stranded, because they'll do the same to you. Either take them with you to that other person or quickly introduce them to somebody else, and then you know that you can actually leave that person well. I think it was it Sujat Lawani who said this morning, not human beings, but human doings. I think he's right. I think it is doing things that matter, trying new things. That's the really, really important thing. And also, you see so many people, it's the attitude to life you have. We know that things touch people, as bereavement touches people, sadness, illness, and happy things. It's how you react to what life throws at you. It's so important. I've got a good friend, Audrey. 10 years ago, her son hanged himself. I rang her every day for a year to look after her and to make sure she was fine. I thought I was a good friend. 5, 6, 7 years later, she had a book published or accepted. I've had 2 books accepted. And she said to me, Carole, she said, I've got an advance on my second book. I said, well done, Audrey. I got £1,000 on my first book and £3,000 advance on my second book. How much did you get, says I? 250,000, she said. It took every ounce of friendship to say, well done, Audrey. And I think people forget that often it's very difficult to know who you can share your triumphs with, who you can say, I was successful here or successful there. My girlfriend, I know, would be much happier if I said to her, my husband snores, I've put on weight, and I really, really, really don't think I can cope much longer. Much happier than saying I've lost weight, I've got a wonderful husband. People can't help but compare themselves to other people. Some say that happiness is feeling you're doing just that little bit better than somebody you know. So I want to say, network, take an interest in people, listen to them, ask them questions. It's flattering for them, but networking in the true good sense, which means looking at every person as someone who's got something in them that maybe you can help them by being generous with your contacts, I think can really change your career and change your life. Please do it.